Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Can It Take a K26? The show where we take a variety of blasters and see if they can be upgraded using a K26 spring. I am your host, Captain Xavier, and I am proud to announce that K26 going forward will be sponsored directly by Out of Darts. Since he started carrying K26 on his Etsy page, I have been telling anyone and everyone who asks where they can get K26 to go buy it from him, because it was pretty much the same price as you could get it anywhere else, and you would be helping out a fellow nerfer. And apparently, as a result, he's had some trouble keeping K26 in stock. So to show his appreciation for that, he offered to sponsor K26 by sending me K26 to use. And he said he was going to send some, and I was expecting, 3 or 5 coils, which would be enough to keep me going for a couple of months, and then he'd send 3 or 5 more, and so forth. Yeah, not so much. He sent 73 coils, which is an awesome number. It's actually a happy prime number for those of you math geeks out there who have any idea what that means. But yeah, I have K26 for days now, so I have more than enough to carry on the series and probably enough to use in all of my stuff, and maybe even enough to finally get my Etsy shop going again and have blasters available there. Still don't have time for commissions, but might be able to do some of that. We'll see. Anyway, on to the episode. Our first contestant was sent to me by a fan and is the Rattler. The Rattler was originally released in 1994 as part of the Max Force line. It is obviously designed to look vaguely like a snake. There's kind of a snake head looking thing there, and then there's the tail. And it's a fairly unique priming mechanism that, from what I've can see, you hold on to the tail, holding it here, and you simply pull it back, and when it gets all the way back, it releases. So there's no trigger, no catch, other than, kind of the catch as you're pulling it back. And then it's got 4 barrels, and it rotates internally. The barrels come off, and I don't know if there was some other sort of attachment that you could get. It kind of feels like there should be. But as you prime it, that center peg rotates, and that is where the air is released. And this thing actually has a surprising amount of power. Yeah, it's of course chambered for old school mega darts, but rechambering it would not be particularly difficult. But we want to see if this thing can take a K26. Let's find out. Alright, well, it is a very straightforward design. This is the rotation mechanism, and this is the whole catch. It just hooks in there and then pulls back until it finally releases. It looks very solid. Let's take a look at the spring. Not a particularly big spring. Not really much in the way of pre-compression, so the whole plunger rod and head appear to be one solid piece, with the spring being threaded on in the first place. So the issue, of course, is going to be compression, because this is a very high frequency, low frequency. The coils are far apart, almost twice that of K26 and narrower. So there's a fairly good chance that we're not going to be able to get enough compression. It was a stout spring, though, so there is a chance. And I really don't want to break this old vintage blaster, but we're going to give it a try. It occurs to me that compression might not be an issue, given that this doesn't actually have to compress and catch, but compression still could be an issue if we're not able to get it primed back far enough for that slam fire catch mechanism to release. Yeah! It takes it just fine. Doesn't even feel like that much heavier of a draw, and I know that's because there's you have a lot of leverage, which is very, very helpful. It is definitely a heavier draw, but it doesn't sound like it's gonna blow anything apart, and it doesn't feel like it's just gonna shatter. So yeah, That's pretty cool. That's a yes for the Rattler. I don't have any numbers because I don't have old school Mega Darts. I think I only have I might have one, but I don't want to risk breaking it or losing it. So, yeah, the Rattler can take a K26. Neat. Love it when the old vintage ones can. On to the next contestant. Our next contestant is the Warthog. The Warthog was originally released in 1995 as part of the Max Force line. It is a rear-primed reverse plunger blaster, which doesn't bode well, but you never know. And it fires 2 darts at once. It looks like it's got 2 reverse plunger tubes and just fires them both at once. And as far as I can tell, it looks like it fires regular streamline darts, though it's the post style, but given the size of the dart holders, it looks like it is just regular streamline. So I'm gonna go try that. So it's not quite chambered in modern elites. They're a little bit too the inside of the dart is a little bit too small to fit over that hole, but it does work. Let's get this thing open and see if it can take a K26. So gonna go with no. That is the stock spring. That thing is tiny. Interesting. So yeah, it is reverse. Oh, it's the weirdest reverse plunger I've ever seen. Okay. Yeah, that is wicked strange. Let's check the bin. So the issue is going to, of course, be diameter, because that is just the tiniest main spring I have ever seen in a Nerf blaster. I doubt I have anything anywhere near that small. No. No, I definitely don't. Oh. 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 Oh, but I do. Spring rattle. It's ever so slightly too short by maybe 1 coil, of course. Alright, well, by using a little bit of craft foam and just folding it over and tucking it in behind the spring, I was able to get rid of the spring rattle, but still have it catch. So it was able to take a spring upgrade. This original spring was pretty dinky and worn out. And I'm absolutely baffled that I had a spring that was heavy enough. And it's a noticeable increase, but once again, I don't have the right ammunition to be able to properly test it and chrono it. So I can't give you what kind of an improvement it was, but there was an improvement. I am definitely going to try to find some way to either re-barrel this. I think this one is actually the Curator's and I have to give it back, but I would like to try to find some way to re-barrel it, or just to find ammo that works in it. Possibly Busby stickies. They tend to have a larger inside diameter, I believe. I might have some off-brand sticky darts that might as well. But it would be cool because this is, by design, a shotgun pistol. Never gonna have near the performance of, say, my Baron shotgun pistols, but it's a neat design just because, you know, it looks like a bore. And it's vaguely in my colors. I'm more black than gray, but and orange than copper, but it's just a neat one. I like that the eyeball is clearly a gear. That's pretty cool. I thought the Max Force line was interesting. Anyway, there you have it. Let's recap. Alright, for those of you keeping score at home or who just skipped to the end to see the results, that was a yes for the Rattler and a no to the Warthog, but yes to a spring upgrade. I was actually surprised at how easily this one was able to take K26 and how it doesn't feel like it's likely to shatter. You might be able to get a longer length than I put in there, But at that point, I think you would be at risk of breaking the slamfire catch mechanism, because the older Nerf plastic was a little bit on the brittle side. This one had a really weird mechanism on the inside, it turns out. Something unlike anything I'd ever seen in really any other blaster. So I was amazed when I was able to find a spring that was able to increase it. Neither of these, I don't have ammunition for either of these. I do not have the ammunition for either of these, so I wasn't able to give you guys chrono readings or firing demonstrations or anything like that, because they both take old ammunition. This one takes some form of old school Mega. The closest thing I had didn't quite seat right, and so it was shooting like 5 feet. And this thing does appear to take micro darts, but it fits on the dart fits around the dart post, and that's where the air comes out as part of the whole reverse plunger system. And I didn't have anything that fit it properly either, so I was getting about 10 feet with the best darts I could find. But if you happen to have these and you happen to have the darts, or if you have them and you feel like rebarreling them, now you have a vague idea what they're capable of. So, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions for future episodes, let me know in the comment section, and as always, thank you guys for watching.